Hi, I'm John Malkovich, and I'm here on Unscripted with Max Minghella, and we're going to talk about a film that we've done together called Art School Confidential here. And I'll start with the first question, which would be, how would you describe your character in Art School Confidential?
I played Jerome Platts, who's a tortured young soul, and he lives in a very suburban community, and he's slightly sheltered and naive. And he gets a place at this art school in New York, which he's very excited about, and I think he has some misconceptions about the extent of his own talent. And he gets there, and it all blows up in his face a little bit.
And because his goal now is to be the greatest artist,
The greatest
in
artist
the
of the
history
21st
of the
century,
world, yeah.
which is obviously very achievable.
Yeah. Well, a little difficult.
Yeah, he's not an ambitious guy.
Yeah.
What was it about the movie that clicked with you, and what made you want to do it?
Well, essentially my involvement really started as a producer because our company, Mr. Mudd, had produced Ghost World, which was Terry Zwigoff directed and Dan Klaus wrote. So when it came up that Dan and Terry had an idea to do a film about essentially a bunch of cretins at an art college, to me it seemed really a no-brainer.
Right.
Does having a famous dad in the business make it easier or harder for you to be taken seriously as an actor or as anything else, probably?
Yeah, because I was a human being.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's difficult. Honestly, actually, it's probably a little trickier.
Mm-hmm.
When I started, I'd go to auditions and I'd be, up against 10 other guys, and 5 of them would be far more famous than my father, and the other 5 would have, would have a huge body of work, and I'd show up with, nothing on my resume, and they figured Daddy made a phone call.
Yeah.
So that was a hard hump to get over, but you show up and you try and do good work and try and segregate yourself somehow.
Yeah.
Unscripted. I'm going to ask you about Dangerous Liaisons, if I may, just because it's one of my favorite
Sure,
films.
of course.
Had you done the play prior to that?
I had not, Max. I knew of the novel. I had never done the play, although we at Steppenwolf Theatre, which is a theatre I've worked in for 30 years, had done a reading of the play. In other words, to sort of try and decide if we wanted to put it in our season. And everybody was incredibly impressed by the play. I mean, even shockingly impressed by the play. But I had never performed it. I was asked after the film, after I had finished a play in London, which I was doing called Burn This. They had a production of it on stage, which was running, and I was asked to do it then. I mean, I'm much, much too old, and I was too old then to do it on stage. But I would like to direct it someday, because I really, to me, it's one of the great post-war plays in the English language. When did you realize you had the acting bug? I mean, what?
I woke up one morning and just was rash, and it was...
Yeah.
No, I saw this play in London called This Is Our Youth, which Kenneth Flanagan wrote.
Sure, of course.
And it just stuck with me in a very
That was where? At
big
the
way.
court? Where was
The
it?
Garrick in London.
At the Garrick.
And I had a friend who was in the play, and so it gave me a little bit of access. And I got to go to rehearsals a little bit, and I fell in love with it, and I didn't know why or what it meant, and I just realized I started going around the house doing all the parts and doing all the different voices, and I realized I was going crazy, and that I needed to sort of channel all this energy somehow, and this is what I ended up doing.
And how did you start out? Did you go to classes? Did you just start out auditioning? Did you study in school? Did you?
I sort of realized I wanted to do it, and I didn't know if I could. I didn't know if I was any good or not, because I'd just been, acting in front of the mirror. So I applied to the National Youth Theatre in London because it's a difficult school to get into, and I figured if if they accepted me, then maybe I had a chance. And then if I went through their course, and so I did the whole thing.
Okay, Max, this is for you to finish this sentence. The 3 things I love about the movies are...
Escapism, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The popcorn is very nice. And you know, if they can work some nudity in there,
Absolutely.
it's a way of seeing some ass and not feeling guilty about it.
Absolutely,
So I'd say
yeah.
those are the three things.
Yeah. Very
And
good.
yourself, the three things that you love about movies are, Mr. Malkovich.
Although I'm a huge popcorn fan also, and also don't have terribly mixed feelings about nudity. But actually, probably mine have to do with the fact that I think it's very difficult to find in any other jobs the idea of working towards a common goal.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't have to go on for 80 years. Working on scripts, weirdly enough, enormously. And even more bizarrely, I like the technical aspects of movie making.
Mm-hmm.
What is a shot? What is a frame? What does this say? And those are probably the things I like the most.
Thank you to Moviefone.
Thanks for watching, and thanks for sending in your questions.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.